because it's history. It's history.
Live from Skydome in Toronto, Nesson presents Boston Red Sox baseball. This afternoon, the Red Sox and Blue Jays play Game 3 of this 4-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Today, the Major League debut for Kevin Youkilis. We've heard so much about this Red Sox prospect, and the time is now. He gets to start at third base. In his minor league career, over 325 games, certainly known for his on-base percentage with all the walks, and 71 straight games for him in which he reached base in the minors. This season, a slow start for him in Pawtucket over the first 32 games. Started slow, but over the last 21 games, he's hit up over 300. And Youkilis getting the news yesterday when the Pawtucket Red Sox were in Charlotte. He's here today. So is Bronson Arroyo and Jerry Remy, and Jerry Bronson back in that number 5 spot.
Well, you know, Don, I think this is what Red Sox Nation has wanted all along. Arroyo being number 5 starter. Quite honestly, I think it's what Terry Francona has wanted all along. And what makes Arroyo so tough is his breaking ball. He's got an excellent slider, and it's a pitch that right-handers do not pick up very well. We're going to show clips here of 3 strikeouts, and all 3 of those strikeouts are going to be on the breaking ball. Now, when you look at the stats for Arroyo, he's faced some tough hitting ball clubs. Toronto, the Yankees twice, in which the Red Sox won those games, even though he wasn't involved in the decision, and also the Texas Rangers. Those are very good hitting clubs. He's not going to be intimidated today. He loves the thought that he's the number 5 starter right now, and I think what to expect for him today is somewhere between 75 and 85 pitches, because remember, he's been in the bullpen for the last couple of outings.
Little different looking Red Sox lineup. The Red Sox facing the veteran Pat Hentgen, and it's next from Skydome.
Recently, Dodge Ram was pitted against 4 different full-size competitors. An independent company ran each through a battery of tests, and every time, the truck that out-towed, out-hauled, and flat-out outperformed the competition was the Hemi-powered Dodge Ram. Kind of makes you realize why Ram commands respect from every driver, especially ones that count on performance.
Sweet!
Qualified buyers who finance through Chrysler Financial get an additional $1,000 for a total combined cash allowance of $4,500 on Ram 1500.
Celebrate the 2004 baseball season with the limited edition Boston Red Sox Pin Collection. On Sunday, May 16th, the Boston Globe gives you the chance to own a piece of baseball history. Get your free Red Sox Pin Collection album May 16th in the Boston Sunday Globe. It's packed with photos of your favorite players, plus profiles, stats, and history. Get the scoop on Schilling, Manny, Pedro, Nomar, Veritek, Damon, and more. Don't miss out. Pick up the Boston Sunday Globe May 16th for your free Boston Red Sox Pin Collection album. And start collecting player pins at participating retailers May 17th.
It's easy to give up, but I don't give up on this team.
You've got to believe.
This is our year. Here we go.
You've got to have hope.
We'll be back. We'll get them tomorrow.
You've got to be crazy.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, how can I help you?
Come on, little man with a hard head.
I'm a pretty simple guy.
The Red Sox are part of how you grow up.
We're going to kick the out of them.
Still, we believe. The Boston Red Sox movie. Rated PG. Now playing only in theaters.
There's never been a better time to get into a Jeep brand 4x4 like Jeep Grand Cherokee. Right now, qualified lessees can get one for just $269 a month and only $999 down. The legendary Grand Cherokee with 4-wheel drive, power windows, locks, and air conditioning for just $269 a month. But get in today because this incredible offer ends June 1st. The best values in America are at your Jeep dealer during May Bonus Day.
This is a water-grabbing, sun-stealing, grass-killing machine. Okay, it's a dandelion, but it can wreck your lawn. Hi, I'm Ashton Ritchie with the Scotts Company. Wow, isn't this better? Scotts Turf Builder with +2 weed control is twice as effective as any other brand. Why? Scotts small particles stick to weeds better than larger ones. So Scotts works better. No wonder it's America's #1 weed and feed. Lose this and get this with Scotts Turf Builder +2.
Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Subaru, by Coors Light, by New England Toyota dealers, by LoJack, by Aflac, and by Southwest Airlines. Well, welcome back to Sky Dome, everybody. And while we were away, they have closed up the roof here once again. It's been opened and closed about 3 times prior to the game today, but at the moment they have closed it up, anticipating some precipitation in the area. So the roof is closed once again at Sky Dome. Changing of the lineups going on at home plate right now, and a good crowd settling in. They are expecting a larger crowd here today, somewhere in the 34,000 to 38,000 range. They were hoping for today at Sky Dome, and many of them, as you might imagine, Red Sox fans. A lot of Red Sox fans making the trip here, the easy flight to Toronto, and the Red Sox here today trying to get that momentum to continue from last night as we play game 3 of the series. Bronson Arroyo on the mound today for the Red Sox will be opposed by Pat Hentgen. And a little different looking lineup for the Red Sox today. Some guys getting some days off here for the Red Sox. Some guys also a little bit nicked up.
Well, you got Manny Ramirez, who came out of the late game last night with a groin injury. He's going to be DHing today. You see Kevin Youkilis, who's going to make his major league debut today here at Sky Dome for the Red Sox. Bill Miller with the bad knee is probably going to be out to at least Tuesday. We won't see him again on this surface. So, yeah, it is a different looking lineup. Pokey Reese getting the day off. We'll see how the Red Sox react to that. David McCarty will take Ramirez's place out there in left field. So there was one original lineup that came out early this morning. That was quickly changed when Ramirez came in and said that he had to DH in this ball game today.
And the turf here is on the hard side. The Red Sox actually in this entire trip will be playing on anything but natural grass, although that stuff that they play on in Tampa Bay is a little bit easier than this turf, I would imagine, Jerry.
Yeah, it is. This is a very hard surface. Hasn't changed very much since they built this place, and probably one of the hardest that's left in the American League. But when you get down to Tampa, you have that field turf, which is a lot more like playing on grass.
Well, the Blue Jays taking the field, accompanied by some youth baseball players that have been invited here today to Sky Dome, as the Ontario Youth Baseball organization sending players out here onto the field with the players. And the Blue Jays taking the field, led by their starter Pat Hentgen. We take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, brought to you by Dodge. Johnny Damon leads it off in center field. Mark Bellhorn batting second at second base. David Ortiz at first. Manny Ramirez is the DH. Millar in right, David McCarty in left. Doug Mirabelli doing the catching. He had 2 home runs here at Toronto on April 21st. Kevin Youkilis making his major league debut at third, and Cesar Crespo at shortstop. The Red Sox will face the veteran Pat Hentgen.
2-2 on the season and 2 wins in a row, both against Kansas City in his last 2 outings. Last season for Baltimore, really his first injury-free season in quite some time, and he had a very good second half of the year that made the Blue Jays interested in signing him in the offseason. Against the Red Sox in his career, 11-10 with a 4.62 ERA. And the defense is brought to you by the New England Toyota dealers. And a little bit sloppy last night for the Toronto Blue Jays. Even though overall in the season they played very well, they had a tough night defensively last night. It'll be Hentgen at third, Gomez at short, Hudson at second, Delgado at first. Left to right, Colanado, Wells, and Simon Pond. Kevin Cash doing the catching again this afternoon.
And the umpiring crew, Brian Runge as a plate, Rob Drake at first, Mark Carlson at second, and Gary Darling is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Johnny Damon taking a strike to begin the ball game. Damon at 281, 2 homers and 21 runs driven in.
One thing about today's game, you'll see 2 pitches that work very quickly. Pat Hentgen doesn't mess around, gets the ball, he's right back on the rubber. Same thing with Bronson Arroyo.
Johnny Damon has hit safely in 8 games. And over the last 8 games, Damon hitting at .378. Three home runs off Pat Hentgen for Johnny Damon in his career. Pat Hentgen, 35 years of age, born in Detroit, now resides in Tarpon Springs, Florida during the offseason.
Hentgen, the one-time ace of this Toronto Blue Jays staff before his career went in different directions, and unfortunately his career had some injuries involved, and that's why I mentioned last year really his first injury-free season in quite some time.
2-2 to Damon. Sliced foul off the left side. Hentgen was originally a 5th-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays back in 1986, and a member of the Blue Jays from 1991 through 1999. We're going to St. Louis and Baltimore.
I'll tell you what, during batting practice, you might have thought we were at Fenway Park with the number of Red Sox fans that are here for this Saturday afternoon game. A lot of them last night, I think more here this afternoon.
Full count now to Johnny Damon. The climate-controlled Sky Dome at 68 degrees inside today. Outside 57 degrees. It has cooled off a little bit here in Toronto. On the ground to first. Carlos Delgado takes it alone, and Johnny Damon is out number 1.
I don't quite get it. You know, I mean, they open this thing during batting practice. It's comfortable. I mean, it's, you know, it's not freezing cold outside. It's pretty comfortable. But yet, as soon as the game starts, they close it back up. You know, we've heard about possibility of rain. I don't think it's rained a drop here yet since we've been around.
Here's Mark Bellhorn. It is a much different facility with the roof open than closed, as it certainly feels domish here with the closed and kind of dark, but when it's open, it really changes the complexion of this place dramatically.
Yeah, it's not quite as domish as you say.
Yeah, domish. You like that? That's my word. Mark Bellhorn getting the start at second base for the Red Sox today. Reached base safely in 14 of 15 games in May. A .391 on base percentage. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out for a strikeout for Pat Hentgen. 2 down in the first inning.
When opposing pitchers are able to get ahead of Bellhorn, which really doesn't happen very much because he walks a lot, they go upstairs with the fastball. Right there, and he has a tendency to chase that pitch. He's got the uppercut swing. That pitch looks good to any hitter, but it's very difficult to make contact on.
2 down for David Ortiz at .266, 9 homers and 28 runs batted in. Ortiz collecting his league-leading 14th double of the year last night. Eight of his last 11 hits have gone for extra bases, 4 doubles and 4 home runs. Had a solo home run in the first game of the series here at Sky Dome. Now the 3-0 from Hentgen. Missing up top, and on 4 pitches, David Ortiz walks. The Red Sox have their first base runner of the day. Here comes Manny Ramirez, the DH today. As Jerry mentioned, he arrived at the ballpark today. He was originally in the starting lineup in left field defensively, but after he arrived and consulted with Terry Francona, they moved him into the DH spot, kind of nursing a groin strain at the moment, but still able to bat.
Yeah, he came out of the game last night. It was after the Red Sox had scored a bunch of runs. They pinch hit, I think it was McCarty for Ramirez. I thought that was kind of strange, so there had to be some kind of injury involved, and yes, it was a groin. I don't think it's anything too serious. If it was, Manny would not even be DHing today.
No, Hentgen right now having a little trouble. After he got the first 2 outs of the inning, he's now thrown 6 straight balls. Ortiz at first, and Ramirez ahead 2-0. timeout for Hentgen, a 9-3 win as he beat the Kansas City Royals, and Hentgen went 6 1/3, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. He struck out 5 and walked 2 through 89 pitches. As he comes into this outing with a record of 2-2. To Manning. Fouled off, and it's 2-2.
Terry Francona was saying he thinks the injury might have occurred last night when Manning got hooked up with the umpire going around first base. It was a bad throw that got by the first baseman. Now Manning starts to scoot to second base, got tied up with the umpire, and I think it was after that the problem started.
And he swings with a 2-2 and lifts it foul down the right field line, back and out of play. Long first inning for Pat Hentgen, who's already thrown 21 pitches in the first. Manny Ramirez so far in the series 4 for 9 with a double and a run batted in. Over the last 10 games, Manny hitting at .385. That one bounces its way in, and a full count now to Ramirez. Kevin Millar waiting on deck. 2 down here in the top half of the first inning. David Ortiz at first, not being held on by Delgado, who plays in behind him. On the ground to third base, Eric Hentgen goes to second base and just gets Ortiz. Wow, didn't look like he had him, but the second base umpire Carlson said he got him to end the inning. Half an inning, Red Sox get nothing. Toronto coming up.
Hey, what is it?
I realize I love you, but as long as you're with Jessica, there can never be anything between us.
Listen, Cassie, there's no need to cry. Besides, I've got really great news.
You're leaving Jessica?
No. I just saved a load of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. I saved. I thought that meant something to you.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Dunkin' Donuts Real Iced Latte, the drink that brings you back.
Here you go, sweetie. Hello, this is Christy. Hello?
Dunkin' Donuts Iced Latte, made with real espresso. It's the refreshing way to bring you back to life.
Don't buy another SUV before you check out the Hyundai Santa Fe. Inside, tons of space and lots of standard features, all for $4,400 less than a Toyota Highlander when comparably equipped. And outside, great looks powered by an available 3.5-liter V6 with reliability backed by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. The Hyundai Santa Fe starting at just $16,994 with utility package. With Hyundai, you win. Get a 2004 Santa Fe with $1,500 cash back or 0% APR.
I pledge allegiance to the fans of the entire Red Sox nation
and to the Fenway faithful in all the stands.
One team, under Terry,
Unbeatable.
with offense and pitching. Play ball, play ball, play ball,
Play ball.
One nation, one network. Nesson, your home for Red Sox baseball.
Back at Sky Dome, Bronson Arroyo ready to go, and Orlando Hudson in there as he takes strike one.
Bronson Arroyo making his 5th start of the season. His record stands at 1-1. Those starts coming against Toronto, 2 against New York, and 1 against Texas. In that game against Toronto, he went 6 innings, gave up 8 hits and 4 earned runs. That was a game that the Red Sox lost 10-5 at Fenway Park. I think that was the Fenway Park opener, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. Hudson takes the ball, and it's 1-2 now to the leadoff hitter for the Blue Jays. And 306, 5 homers and 21 runs driven in. Off the side of the mound, Bellhorn able to track it down, and the throw in time. Nice play by Mark Bellhorn, as the Red Sox fortunate to hit the side of the mound, and Bellhorn able to get over there to make the play.
Yeah, that's just enough to help out as that ball hit off the side of the mound right below Arroyo, and then it just bounced in the direction of Bellhorn. Bellhorn with a nice throw to first base to get the very speedy Orlando Hudson.
So 1 down, and it brings up Frank Catalanato, the left fielder for the Jays. Catalanato overall 355, a home run, and 20 runs batted in. There's an 8-game hitting streak going. Batting at .441 during the 8-gamer. Catalanato has done very well against the Red Sox, a team that seems to feast on over 58 games, hitting at .342, 6 homers, and 2 4-hit games against the Red Sox, and he's picked it up this season where he left off last year. A strike over the outside corner, and it's 3-1 now to Frank Catalanato. On the ground to Bellhorn. 2 down in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the rest of the Blue Jays starting lineup, brought to you by Rico. Vernon Wells in center field, batting third at .385 average in May so far. Carlos Delgado at first base. Josh Phelps is the DH. Eric Hentgen at third base, 3 for his last 28. Really struggling. Simon Pond in right. Kevin Cash doing the catching, and Chris Gomez at shortstop. As Toronto facing Bronson Arroyo, who has the first 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning.
So far this season against Arroyo, left hand is hitting .308, right hand is .204, and that slider a very effective pitch against those right-handers.
Let's see what's going on here as the home plate umpire Runge headed out to talk to Bronson Arroyo.
Apparently he had gone to his mouth to blow on his hand, and that is not being allowed by the umpires today. I think the thing is they forgot to warn him about that, and they apparently now have, as Runge warns both sides, that the pitchers cannot blow on their hand while they're on the mound.
Wells hits a fly ball into shallow center field. Bellhorn and Crespo combining. It'll be Crespo drops the baseball. Bellhorn will pick it up, but standing at second base is Vernon Wells. And the defensive woes for the Red Sox continuing here today.
That's the 5th error now the Red Sox have made in this series, and really no excuse for plays like that. Just a routine pop-up, a much easier play for Bellhorn, but Crespo calls him off and just has the ball hit the heel of his glove. Really didn't get himself in position to make that catch. He was facing the outfield, facing right field, trying to catch the pop-up.
So now Arroyo's got to face an extra hitter and a big one in Carlos Delgado. Delgado off to the slow start so far this season, but he is batting with Vernon Wells at second base, and 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. To right center field, Johnny Damon moving over. He's there, and he'll make the catch. The error is not costly for the Red Sox. We played an inning from Sky Dome. We're scoreless.
Me at Foxwoods.
At Sovereign, we're here with red carpet service. Guaranteed.
With XM satellite radio.
Find hotel.
Bluetooth wireless technology.
Dial.
And voice-activated navigation.
Do you need directions?
No thanks. I got them.
You are not alone. Introducing the all-new 270 horsepower Acura TL.
Back at Skydome in Toronto, scoreless at the end of one as we head to the top half of the second inning. Kevin Millar, David McCarty, and Doug Mirabelli to face Pat Hentgen. Has hit safely in 11 of the last 13 games, and over the last 13 games, Millar hitting at .375.
Hentgen with the fastball, the curveball, slider, and changeup. Hentgen's fastball nowadays only registering somewhere between 85 and 88.
A former 20-game winner. He won 20 games here with Toronto in 1996. Was 20-10 here in 1996 and 35 starts. 3.22 earned run average. 19-game winner in his second season in Toronto. Out of the reach of shortstop Chris Gomez, it finds its way into center field, and the Red Sox have their first hit of the day.
Looked like a changeup from Hentgen that stayed upstairs to Kevin Millar. Millar is now hitting 12 out of 14 games as he rifles that one back up the middle. Gomez tries to reach out, but he can't make the play, so the Red Sox have the leadoff man on here in the second inning. Little byplay over here at first base between Millar and Delgado. Delgado just blocking him to make sure he didn't go for two. Everybody's having fun at the Skydome here Saturday afternoon.
David McCarty getting the start in left field today for the Red Sox. Ahead in the count now, 2-0. McCarty juices one to deep left center field. That ball is back, and that ball is off the wall. Vernon Wells unable to make the catch, still running as Millar is going to try and score. The throw from Gomez is going to be cut off, and the Red Sox take the lead. An RBI wall ball double for David McCarty as the Red Sox on top 1-0.
It's kind of strange watching Vernon Wells go after that long fly ball. It's almost like he drifted after it, like he thought it was going to be a home run. It seemed to me, Don, if he busts his tail back to that wall, he might have a chance to catch it, but he got caught drifting toward it. Right there, he thinks the ball's going to be gone. Now he tries to time his leap, but he can't make the play. He actually jumped over the baseball.
Yeah, hit the base of the wall.
Yeah, he misjudged that. He thought that was going to be a home run when that's a ball that he probably could have caught. It was hit so high. We have not seen dazzling defense at all in this series.
On either side. Well, McCarty at second base picks up his 6th RBI of the season. And now Doug Mirabelli getting a start today, working with Bronson Arroyo, giving Veritek the day off, at least to begin the game, with the day game after the night game. Kevin Youkilis waiting on deck, making his major league debut today. Got the word yesterday while the Pawtucket Red Sox were playing in Charlotte, and flew up to Toronto last night here for the game today, and fired up to be in the starting lineup today for the Red Sox.
has to be a little bit nervous, I would think. Played some games in spring training, but there's nothing like your major league debut.
In the dirt outside, and the count 1-2. In your major league debut, they have given me the information you were 1 for 3. And I think you've told me before you were picked off first base after the 1 part.
That's right. I got a hit first time up, drove in a run, as a matter of fact, and then got picked off on the fake to third, throw to first,
which almost never works.
Right. Did that day.
2-2 now to Mirabelli.
I think your legs shake throughout the whole game in your major league debut.
On the ground right side, Orlando Hudson. They have got McCarty caught in no man's land. Fires to third, and McCarty will get there safely. Threw it low and in the dirt, and not a defensive clinic here for either side, and it continues.
Well, I mean, we've seen about everything in this series. Now, first of all, McCarty, I believe, makes a mistake. You know, he thinks the ball's going to go all the way on a line to second base, so he holds up. And then he decides he's going to go. So that gives Orlando Hudson a chance to nail him at third base, and he makes a bad throw. So when the Red Sox really should have had a man out at third base, now they have first and third and nobody out. Makes the off-balance throw as he's running. It bounces to Hentgen, and the Red Sox have first and third.
Well, here's the first major league at bat for Kevin Youkilis. 25-year-old starting the season with the Pawtucket Red Sox. He has been hot lately, with a batting average up over 300 over the last 20 games.
I was thinking, Don, as we were mentioning how nervous you get. You know, it's a little bit different for players today. You notice in spring training how many minor leaguers get a chance to be in major league games. That didn't happen a lot in the past.
I mean, Youkilis walked in today. He knew everybody in the clubhouse because he played with them for 6 weeks. Off the third, throw to first.
See how easy it is for Mirabelli to get back? I got picked off on that baby. It's like in spring training, you see guys being called up from A-ball to play in major league games. That never happened in the past. You never got close to a major league clubhouse until it was time to go to major league spring training. A lot of the complexes now have their minor league teams right there with them, so they can do that.
Youkilis pops it up off third base. Over goes Hentgen towards the stands, but he will run out of room. So the first action you saw in spring training was basically when you were going to be on the club for the most part?
It was my first invited time to spring training, and that year I did make the team. But you know, there was no such thing as guys, you know, coming up from the minor league the minor league complex was not even close to where the major league team was. Major league teams in Palm Springs, and the minor leagues out of El Centro someplace. It wasn't even close.
The 2-2 to Youkilis. Popped up left side. Chris Gomez, the shortstop, calling. And he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. So Youkilis in his first major league at bat, popping out to the shortstop. And there's one out here in the second inning. McCarty at third, Mirabelli at first. And the number 9 hitter, Cesar Crespo, coming up. Cesar hitting at .212, no homers, and a run batted in. Was 2 for 5 here last night with a double and a run batted in. Today marks the 5th start of the year for him at shortstop. He's made 5 starts at second base for the Red Sox as well, and giving Pokey Reese a day off.
Kind of curious to see Delgado holding on Mirabelli at first base. You would think that he would get the same effect by playing maybe just 2 steps behind him, which would increase his range with the left-handed hitter at the plate.
Maybe he thinks Doug is going to be taken off. This one is roll foul outside of first.
I mean, even if that first baseman stands just behind Mirabelli, he increases his range, and really you can't, as a base runner, take advantage of that. Sometimes you're not sure whether the guy's going to break the first base or not, so it's not going to help you lead any.
The shallow right field. Out goes Orlando Hudson. And the second baseman makes the catch for the inning's second out. The Red Sox had runners at the corners with nobody out. The runners are still at the corners, and now there's 2 down. An error this inning committed by the second baseman Orlando Hudson. So both teams with a miscue so far here today. And now Johnny Damon grounded out to first base his first time up. Tipped into the catcher's mitt, strike 1.
And now with 2 outs, Delgado does move behind Mirabelli at first base. And is not going to allow him to go anywhere.
Damon slices it foul off the left side. It's 0-2. Johnny pretty good in this situation at 429. Cardi at third, Mirabelli at first, with 2 down here in the visiting half of the second inning. A run already in for the Red Sox. Second, and they get Mirabelli there to end the inning. The Red Sox get a run. We played an inning and a half. Boston on top, 1-0.
When it starts showing up in video games, don't let the needle-pushing T5 Turbo performance mess with your mind.
It's still built like a Volvo.
Introducing the all-new Volvo S40.
How does your car say, Valero?
Excuse me, how do you feel about your stockbroker?
The truth? I do all the research, he makes all the money.
Please, with all the ideas I come up with, he should be paying me.
Oh, we feel great. We switched to TD Waterhouse and we never looked back.
Why pay all that money to Merrill or Schwab? TD Waterhouse has free, independent research that makes it easy to come up with your own ideas and validate them yourself.
I've never seen research like this online.
So switch to TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers like Merrill and Schwab.
We are back here at Skydome. Yesterday, Kevin Youkilis was in Charlotte, North Carolina, relaxing in his hotel room. Got a call from Paw Sox manager Buddy Bailey asking him, do you have a passport? He knew then he was making a trip up to Toronto. He takes the story from there.
Terry called me last night in my room and told me that I was going to start at third base. So just to get a little mentally prepared. Helped me sleep pretty good last night. Kind of that in and out sleep, but don't need much sleep when you got adrenaline going.
And the Three Musketeers are together again. It was back on August 10th of last year for the Paw Sox. Had Bronson Arroyo pitched a perfect game. Arroyo is on the mound today. Youkilis was the third baseman that day, and Cesar Crespo was in the infield playing second base. So they're reunited here in Toronto, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. This one chopped to short, and Crespo takes care of Josh Phelps for out number 1.
Well, kids, if you're 14 or younger, haven't already joined Red Sox Kid Nation presented by Hood, now is the perfect time. Benefits include all the items listed on the screen, and now all members will be entered into a special drawing for a chance to spend an inning on the air as part of a NESN Red Sox telecast. Membership is just $20. Pick up an application at redsox.com or by calling 888-RED-SOX-6 or at the Fenway Park box office.
One down for Eric Hentgen. Struggled lately has Hentgen. Left field down the line. Over goes McCarty towards the corner. It is bending and a foul ball. David had to go a long way. Is that ball foul? Well, first game of the series, Hentgen ended an 0 for 14 stretch with a double in the 5th inning against the Red Sox. He's recorded just 3 hits in his last 28 at bats.
That's a pitch there that Arroyo's going to need against these lefties. We mentioned coming into the game 308 against Bronson. If he has that changeup, that's a bit of an equalizer. Fastball slide it, but then when he goes with that changeup, that's one that should be effective against left-handers.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. It just had the feel that Bronson Arroyo at some point was going to be back in that Red Sox rotation, and here he is today. You understand that Byung-Hyun Kim, pitching for the Pawtucket Red Sox yesterday, gave up a 3-run home run in the first inning of 2 innings in which he worked. Ended up giving up 3 runs total. And his first outing for the Paw Sox. To left field, sinking fast, and that's in there for a hit. Gardy had to back off with the AstroTurf bounce and gets it back in quickly. Hentgen aboard with a 1-out single.
Well, they made the pitch they wanted to make. You see Mirabelli, he'll stand up in his crouch. They wanted a high fastball. They got a high fastball, but Hentgen is able to just kind of bloop it into left field for the base hit. It's going to take Kim a while. I mean, you know, one of the concerns was his velocity. That's not going to happen like overnight, where he's just going to be throwing 91, 92. So he got hit pretty hard last night.
1 out, 1 on. Simon Pond. 0 for 5 so far with the Blue Jays. In his 3rd game last night, 2nd start. To right center field. On the run is Johnny Damon over there to make the catch. Back to the bag at first goes Hentgen with now 2 down.
Bronson Arroyo has been sick for quite some time, and I guess over the last couple of days he's just started to turn the corner to start to feel better. But when Francona told him a while ago that he was going to become the 5th starter again, I guess he was not feeling too good at that time.
Here's Kevin Cash with 2 down and Hentgen at first base. How you feeling? You're struggling a little bit today.
How you doing?
How you doing, Jerry?
Well, no, I'm all right. I got dumb little head cold, that's all.
Well, you look terrific.
Yeah, I'll get over it.
The 0-1. And there for a strike to Kevin Cash, and it's 0-2.
He picked me up today on the triple play in the pregame show. Last night I was doing the triple play, and I was getting ready to just hack to death.
Live on the air?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they get off just in time. At least during the game, you got this these mute buttons, you know, and you got a sniffle, a cough, or something. You can push that down and nobody hears it. But when you're doing that triple play live, I mean, you can't just bail out.
Well, you could. You just walk away in the middle of the interview.
TC would take that personally. I think I probably got this thing from Wally because the other night he had trouble getting through customs again. Another late night. He never brings any identification, no passport. And then they question him and he doesn't talk. So you got to go bail him out every day.
Bronson Arroyo strikes out Kevin Cash. First strikeout for Arroyo. It ends the second. The end of 2. Red Sox on top 1-0.
Eyewitness News is coverage you can count on every morning between 5 and 7 a.m.
We know you want the latest overnight news, so while you're sleeping, we're on the street gathering news stories. And above it all, Rhode Island's only live news helicopter.
We're monitoring the wires, getting the latest news from around the world off the satellites, putting together all the information you need to start your day.
Overnight news coverage on Eyewitness News this morning beginning at 5 a.m.
Quality items, great prices, and convenient locations. Extramart has all your bases covered. Stop by for a cup of our very own Brew Boy coffee or a double-sized Deli Joe sandwich. Heading for home or running on empty, Extramart introduces Extra Fuels, our own premium quality gasoline.
All this month, come into Extramart for a great selection of Hershey's milk and milkshakes, specially priced at just $1.09.
Priced right and ready to go, Extramart is always a home run.
Back at Skydome with the Red Sox on top 1-0 as we get ready for the top half of the 3rd inning. League leaders brought to you by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Boston Red Sox. And our category is doubles. David Ortiz on top in the doubles category. Belliard, Guerrero, Wells, and Catalanato round out the American League doubles. Lyle Overbay, Milwaukee Brewers with 19. And Vinny Castillo with 16. Mark Bellhorn leads it off, hits one high and deep to right center field. Simon Pond going back, and that ball is gone. Mark Bellhorn, his 4th home run of the year as the Red Sox on top 2-0.
Now this time Bellhorn not waiting around till 2 strikes so they can get him with the high fastball. He jumps on that first pitch from Pat Hentgen, and Bellhorn loses it quickly. As you mentioned, Don, number 4 on the season. See the difference. That ball about belt high. The pitch they struck him out on about letter high.
And there's David Ortiz, who walked in the 1st inning. On the ground to Delgado, who will take it alone for the 1st out of the inning.
Don, as I mentioned, we have many, many fans here from Boston. Again, we want to remind you that when you come up here and stay at Skydome, you want to be very careful about what you're doing in the hotel.
We've seen some interesting things in the hotel in our visits here to Toronto.
Yes, we have.
Manny Ramirez, first pitch swinging, lifts one to right. Simon Pond back there in right. And there's 2 down.
See all those windows up there. The cameras get a really good look in those windows. So again, caution when you stay at the Skydome.
A public service announcement from the Ren Dog. With your best interest.
Just thinking of you at all times.
Well, Hentgen has given up his 6th home run of the season. Only Roy Halladay has given up more for these Toronto Blue Jays so far. Halladay will get the start against Pedro Martinez. Very good pitching matchup here tomorrow. And the finale of this 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Halladay 3-4 to start the season. Last year's American League Cy Young Award winner. Matched up against Pedro Martinez, 4-2 with a 3.73 earned run average. Here's Petey. Ball 4 to Millar, and the second walk given up by Pat Hentgen today. Two outs, Millar at first, and here's David McCarty, who doubled to drive in a run his first time up. The Red Sox beginning the day a half game behind the New York Yankees. Yankees scheduled to play a day game today against Seattle. Jamie Moyer up against Donovan Osborne. The Yankees 9-5 winners over the Seattle Mariners yesterday. To third, Eric Hinske will go to second to force out Kevin Millar. Red Sox get a run on the home run by Mark Bellhorn. Red Sox on top 2-0.
You know, ever since our family got our new Ford F-150, the whole family's gotten a lot tougher.
Come on, in there, move it, move it, move it! Come on, Dad, put some effort into it!
See what I mean?
Made lemonade.
Thanks, honey.
Not for you, for the kids.
Ford F-150 with up to $3,000 cash back or 0% financing plus $1,000 upfit reimbursement on the #1 selling truck for 27 years. The 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
There are two ways to look at skincare. The girl's way or the guy's way. Introducing Gillette Complete Facial Moisturizer. The first moisturizer made for men by the people who know a man's face best. It's simple, non-greasy, fragrance-free with SPF 15. Smoother, healthy-looking skin in 14 days or your money back. New Gillette Complete Moisturizer. This is not your girlfriend's moisturizer. This is Gillette, the best a man can get.
Civilization to find adventure. The 245 horsepower all-wheel drive Nissan Murano.
Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by your New England Dodge dealers, by Miller Beer, and by Honda. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy along with Eric Freed back at Sky Dome in Toronto. Mark Bellhorn's solo home run has given the Red Sox a 2-0 lead as we head to the home half of the third inning. Chris Gomez, Orlando Hudson, and Frank Catalanato to face Bronson Arroyo. It'll be interesting to see how long Bronson Arroyo can go today. Of course, he has been out of the starting rotation for the last couple of weeks, working out of the Red Sox bullpen. Ahead of Chris Gomez, 0-2. His 8th appearance, 5th start for Bronson Arroyo. Right field down the line. Millar on the run. Out goes Bellhorn. Millar lays it out. Can't make the catch, and it's by him. A fair ball. Dan touched it, and that's what the umpire down the first base line, Rob Drake, is indicating. They're going to give him third, or are they going to bring him back to second?
No, they should give him third base. That's fan interference, and they have to judge where the runner was going to end up, and he would certainly have ended up at third base.
Ancona out to dispute this.
Nice effort by Millar, but it gets by him, and then the fan reaches out to interfere with the baseball. Now, in the judgment of the umpire, they have to place that base runner where they think he would have ended up without the fan interference, and I think they're making the proper call, Don. I think he would have ended up at third base. That's where he stands now, but he's going to get a bit of an argument here from Francona.
He wants to talk to the third base umpire, Gary Darling.
The only thing Terry can be arguing is that Bellhorn was out there also, who could have tracked the ball down and got it back in. But I really don't think that they were going to get that man at third base. I really think that this is the correct call. I mean, by now he's already around first base. Now the ball bounces around, and there's the fan interference. Now, was Bellhorn going to be able to get that ball and quickly get it back in to hold him at second base? I kind of doubt it.
And now coming in is Rob Drake, the first base umpire that made the call. And it looks like the umpire's going to get together here, Jerry.
I think the question is, was the ball going to bounce into the stands? And it didn't look that way, Don. It looked like the fan clearly reached over and interfered. So that's fan interference.
See if we can see the runner here going by just at the bottom. Well, and talk to Terry Francona, and after much discussion, they will leave the base runner at third base and Chris Gomez.
I think that's the right call. I really do think the umpires made the proper call there. I think the question Terry was asking the first base umpire was the ball bouncing into the stands? Did it bounce into the stands first? If that's the case, then it's a double.
The fan definitely leaning over, so a runner at third base, nobody out to begin things here in the last of the third inning. Second time through the Toronto order now, and here's Orlando Hudson. Hudson grounded out to second base in the first inning. First base runner to reach third base for Toronto.
Red Sox were able to somewhat quiet Hudson down last night. Both he and Catalano both 1 for 5 in the game. That's following 8 hits between them in game 1 of this series.
There's Catalano waiting on deck. Two pitches so far for Bronson Arroyo. Gomez with his first triple of the season, standing at third. Full count now to Orlando Hudson. 26-year-old from Darlington, South Carolina, Orlando Hudson, and a very good friend of Red Sox shortstop Pokey Reese. To work out together during the offseason. Pokey getting the day off, at least to begin the game. Swing and a miss. Bronson Arroyo with his second strikeout of the game. Good for out number 1 here in the bottom of the third inning.
Good time for the strikeout, the infield back. All Hudson's going to do is make contact there, and they pick up a run. No contact as Arroyo picks up the strikeout. Looked like a little cut fastball. Down and in that time to pick up the punch out.
So Gomez still at third base with 1 down as Hudson strikes out. And here's Frank Catalano grounded out to second base his first time up. Catalano Toronto in his second season with the Blue Jays. Line right to shortstop and snared there by Crespo. So Gomez was at third with nobody out. He's still there with now 2 down in the inning.
It's one of the problems, too, the Blue Jays have had here offensively is scoring runners. They get men in scoring position. They've had a tough time getting him in. I mean, nothing you do about that. It's a line drive, but it's right at Crespo, who's playing back, and Gomez still at third base. So 2/3 of the way through this. See what happens here with Wells.
Wells reaching on a 2-base error in the first inning committed by Cesar Crespo. He dropped a ball out in short center field, allowing Wells to get to second base. Right field sinking fast. A tough start for Millar, but he comes on to make the catch in right. Nice catch by Kevin Millar. He kind of stumbled out of the blocks, but he's able to make the catch. It's all about the results.
The Boston Globe Sports.
Sure smells like spring, and Downey's Toyota is ready with more than 300 new Toyotas on the lot. We're Maine's #1 Toyota dealer, and we're ready to put you in a new Toyota. You can't beat that new car smell, but we can beat any advertised deal in Maine. Come take a test drive and get that Toyota feeling. Catch the excitement and the smell of sawdust as our huge showroom expansion continues. Call 1-800-TOYOTAS or visit us across from Super Walmart and Brewer. Downey's Toyota. Check anywhere you wish first, but sniff us out last.
It takes more than branches to be a real community bank. It takes roots. Since 1875, the people of Camden National Bank have been firmly rooted in the communities we serve. That means the money you deposit with us goes to work in your community through lending and financial support, and the money you borrow for your personal or business needs helps our community grow. Sure, we have branches, but it's our roots you can count on. Camden National Bank. Roots you can bank on.
On June 4th, my big brother was sentenced to 7 years in prison for a gun crime. That day, he sentenced me to 7 years without my best friend.
When you commit a gun crime, your family pays the price.
On September 15th, my son was sentenced to 10 years in prison for a gun crime. That day, he sentenced me to 10 years of worrying if my baby is okay.
When you commit a gun crime, your family pays the price.
It's Skydome with the Red Sox on top 2-0. Bronson Arroyo getting out of a jam. As the Blue Jays had a runner at third with nobody out, Arroyo gets out of the inning unscathed. A little help in right field from Kevin Millar. Made the catch. Doug Mirabelli leading it off in the top half of the 4th inning.
Kevin Millar, he's been banging around on that turf for the last couple of nights. He had one early, game 1 of this series, dove for a ball out in right center field. The ball earlier in that inning that Gomez hit, and then the diving play there to take the base hit away from Vernon Wells.
In there for a strike to Mirabelli.
One more look at the catch by Kevin Millar. Picks it right off the turf and again scrapes the knees and looks like his pants are ripped.
Chopped down the third baseline, a foul ball. Hentgen able to get to it, but foul ball.
I think he might have ripped those pants on that play on Gomez's ball earlier. I tell you, this stuff is terrible to play baseball on. And you know what? I can't imagine how they played football on this stuff for so long.
A lot of injuries as a result.
Just awful.
Got some burn marks there in the arms.
Yep, rug burns, everything.
Missing inside, and it's 2-2 now to Mirabelli. Mirabelli, Kevin Youkilis, and Cesar Crespo expected here in the 4th inning. Strike 3 call. Mirabelli knew it. And he takes with him the 2nd strikeout for Pat Hentgen.
Strikeout high for Hentgen is 5. He did that in his last outing against Kansas City. 2nd of this game. Looks like just a fastball down and away to Mirabelli. No argument from Doug as he heads back to the Red Sox dugout.
One down, Kevin Youkilis in his 2nd major league at bat. First time up, he popped out to the shortstop. Played college baseball at the University of Cincinnati for the Bearcats. Set 6 all-time offensive records at the school in his 4-year career. To left field, deep, far back, and it is gone. The first career home run in the major leagues for Kevin Youkilis in his 2nd big league at bat gives the Red Sox a 3-0 lead.
Well, that should bring a big smile to his face. You can't help it. Youkilis got a bad changeup from Hentgen. That changeup just stayed up in the hitting zone, and he gets the cold shoulder treatment from his teammates in the dugout. Nobody getting up to congratulate him. They will shortly. Finally they come, but they let him hang out there when you come in as a rookie. And Youkilis, was, you see, was shaking hands with himself. Good for him.
There's Cesar Crespo. Youkilis had 3 home runs this season with the Pawtucket Red Sox in 32 games.
Youkilis got a changeup that did absolutely nothing, just stayed up in the zone, and he waited back nicely and really drove that a long way down that left field line.
His first major league hit is a home run.
And once Youkilis gets in that dugout, you see he's noticing nobody's coming to shake hands, so he's just going to shake on his own. Everybody ignoring the heck out of him, and finally they'll eventually come up and congratulate him.
How about Brad Mills? He wasn't even looking.
No, I didn't even want to look at him.
Check to Crespo go. Notices Gary Darling, and it's 2-2. That's a pretty good way to get your first major league hit. Crespo punched at it and strikes out. Now throw out down to first base. It got briefly away from Kevin Cash. Strikeout number 3 for Pat Hentgen. The putout goes 2-3, and there's 2 down.
Kevin Cash, very good defensive catcher, blocked that curveball nicely, got himself clear to the runner to make the throw to first base. Good curveball here from Hentgen. He blocks it, and then as he sees Crespo goes down, he'll get back down there in foul territory to make sure he doesn't hit him in the back, and then just get him out there at first base. Cash has thrown out 40% of the runners going against him so far this season. Very good defensive catcher.
Two down. Johnny Damon, the hitter. Johnny so far 0 for 2 today. Now the move today, in case you did not hear it, to get Kevin Youkilis here from Pawtucket. Red Sox optioning Mark Malaska out to the Pawtucket Red Sox.
I think they're trying to retrieve that ball for him. Usually they try to do that first home run. Looks like there's a security guy up in that area where the baseball ended up, trying to get that ball back for him. Some kind of negotiating going on.
strike to Damon, and it's 3-1. Do you have any of your 7 home runs? Do you possess any of those balls?
The first one, yeah. Should have kept every one, shouldn't I? 7 of them.
Probably. But I'm sure you thought that there were many, many more coming.
No, actually, I didn't, Don.
You figured that was it?
I figured, yeah.
The off pitch to Damon.
I was lucky I hit my first one in Cleveland. There was nobody there. They had no problem getting the ball.
No large negotiation.
No.
You'd have to give anything up.
Nothing.
Security go get it, or did you just go pick it up after the game?
You know, I think actually one of the teammates did. One of the guys in the bullpen.
Hard hit, but foul outside of the bag at first. Still a full count to Johnny Damon. Right side, Orlando Hudson from the outfield throws out Johnny Damon, and the Red Sox are gone. But Kevin Youkilis has his first major league hit. It's a home run, and it puts the Red Sox on top 3-0.
What's there to do in Philly? Oh, boy.
Well, I guess they want to come over and see the Liberty Bell.
You got the Liberty Bell.
We have the Liberty Bell.
Pretzels.
The National Constitution Museum.
There's lots of theater, excellent restaurants.
Well, there's a lot of culture here.
It's like a baby New York.
For me, it's the
Cheesesteak.
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 Now there's another great reason to go to Philly. You can fly there for just $29 on Southwest Airlines.
I love Philadelphia.
You are now free to move about the country.
I know we make kind of an odd couple, but looking around, I think we're a perfect match.
Friendly's has another perfect match. A free nuts over caramel sundae with our new Baja chicken sandwich or Baja colossal burger. Spicy chipotle sauce, melted pepper jack, and crisp bacon. Try any featured sandwich and get our new nuts over caramel sundae free. Caramel swirls, chocolate caramel cups, and roasted almonds. Hurry in. We won't go to these lengths forever.
Who do you call when you need a car? 508-880-0000. Lincoln Mercury of Raynham.
At Lincoln Mercury of Raynham, choose from over 100 Grand Marquis and Sables from $15,900 or lease from $249 a month. Or Lincoln and Mercury SUVs from only $299 a month.
508-880-0000. Lincoln Mercury of Raynham. 508-880-0000.
Back at Skydome, the Red Sox on top 3-0. And it's time now for the Aflac trivia question. Aflac! New music, Jerry.
Beautiful.
What is the Red Sox single-season team record for fewest errors in one season? Well, you speak and there's action. Like that?
Big band, right?
Yeah.
It's better than the other stuff.
Kind of jazzy.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's different.
I like the other stuff. You know, you see a duck, you think it's kind of aquatic. You think of the water, and then you get that Riptide song, you know?
That thing was getting tired. We got a lot of big band fans out there anyway in Nesson World.
Delgado leads it off, and as a count of 1-1, he flew out to center field back in the first inning. The shift is on for Delgado, and the Red Sox infield with Crespo, the shortstop, on the right side of second, and Bellhorn serving the role as a rover in short right field. And 1-2 to Delgado. He's the all-time Blue Jays RBI leader with 979. has had just 3 RBIs over the last 11 games. Bronson Arroyo working into the 4th inning has given up only 2 hits, a single to Hentgen and a triple to Chris Gomez. Off the left side foul, 2-2.
Don, I want to thank Linda Winship of Norton, Mass. Last night she sent up some cookies for us in the booth. They're very, very good. I imagine she's still here today, but if somebody's home listening, thank Linda for sending up these delicious cookies. Everybody in the booth has tried some of them. They're very good. We get a lot of presents when we come here to Toronto.
Always. Outside of first and foul. 2-2 to Delgado. This is where we got some of our candles last year.
Yeah, well, all these Red Sox fans that come up for the weekend, they come bearing gifts.
And we're all about gifts.
Chocolate chip cookies. There was eventually a warning giving to both clubs, but in my opinion, watching it last night, I didn't see where it warranted a warning, because I don't think any of them were intentional. Certainly this is not intentional here. Tries to go to the breaking ball to get Delgado and gets him right off the leg.
So Delgado at first base. Here comes Josh Phelps. Grounded out to shortstop his first time up. And the strike to Phelps. Phelps 1 for 9 so far in the series against the Red Sox. Some fans from Maine.
Members of the website too. Very good. A lot of Maine fans, members of the Rem Report.
More Maine than...
A lot of Maine. Yeah. The Maine, New Hampshire.
Saw a lot of those Maine fans when the Red Sox were up in Montreal. This is in the air to right field. Millar ranging back. He's under it and makes the catcher retire. Phelps back to the bag. At first goes Delgado.
Now, the Red Sox media guide used daily by writers and broadcasters who cover the Sox feature more than 600 pages of player bio, stats, and history. It's the most in-depth Red Sox information you'll find, and the guide has an all-new look in 2004. For more information or to order your copy, send an email to soxpubs@redsox.com.
One out. Delgado at first base. Here's Eric Hentgen, who has one of only 2 hits off Bronson Arroyo today. What ended up happening with your construction situation? Did that start up again?
No, it's actually been very quiet, even yesterday on Friday, and of course they took the weekend off, so right now it's a great room. It's got a beautiful view of the city. Sitting there last night watching TV, looking over the city.
Hentgen slices it foul, and it's 0-2. Former Rookie of the Year in the American League, the year before last. Kind of an off season last year for Hentgen, hitting at .243. The year he was Rookie of the Year, he hit 24 home runs and drove in 84. So last year, half the number of home runs with 12 and 63 RBIs for him. Little pop up off third. Youkilis into foul ground. Dives and can't make the catch. What a bid by Kevin Youkilis.
Oh, you know, every time I see that, Don, it reminds me of when Bill Miller hurt his knee. Back when he was with the Chicago Cubs, it was the same kind of play where he went sliding into the fence area down there at third base. Look back at Bill Miller's injury. This was at Busch Stadium as a member of the Chicago Cubs, and that's when he really tore up his left knee. Right now his right knee is bothering him, so it's not the same problem related at all. Youkilis heading over in that same direction. He'll slide, fortunately not as close to the wall as Bill Miller, and had some time to slow up before he did hit the padding. Nice effort, though, by the third baseman.
Not the softest of surfaces to be doing that on either.
Oh, man, you know, you got the rug, and then you got that cork, and it's...
Is the cork actually softer than the rug, or about the same?
That's at least you don't get torn up as bad on it, but you see all the seams in there. Very dangerous, especially when you're wearing cleats on a field like this.
2-2, grounded up the middle and out of the reach of Bellhorn. Heading for third is Delgado. He'll get there. On the second hit of the day for Eric Hentgen, Toronto's got something going here. Runners at the corners and one down.
Hentgen had been slumping, but now 2 for 2 in this ball game today. Had a bloop base hit on a high fastball. Now he just hooks the ground ball past the dive of Mark Bellhorn. And first and third action for the Blue Jays.
So 2 on, 1 away, and here comes Simon Pond to fly out to center field his first time up. 0 for 6 so far this season is Simon Pond. On the ground towards Crespo, trying to start it to second for 1 on to first. The double play. 6-3 on the twin killing that ends things in the fourth. We played 4 from Skydome. Red Sox on top 3-0.
Maybe this isn't the best time to say it, but I think you're really beautiful.
Well, I've always been attracted to you too, Paul.
Wait, hold on one sec, babe. Excuse me?
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines nonstop from Manchester or Providence to Chicago Midway for just $79 each way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Did you know Explorer has a no-charge third-row seat, a $745 value? And for a limited time, you can also get a power moonroof, a total value of $1,595 in no-charge options. Explorer 4x4, specially equipped with a standard V6, independent rear suspension, CD, remote keyless entry, and more. 0% financing for 60 months, plus $2,850 Ford credit bonus cash, or lease for only $299 a month. See your New England Ford dealer.
It's a weak sign. Vermont loves the Red Sox.
Back at Skydome, 3-0. The Red Sox on top. Back at Skydome, it is 3-0. Red Sox on top. And Mark Bellhorn to lead it off. Bellhorn, Ortiz, and Ramirez to face Pat Hentgen. Bellhorn hitting a home run his last time up, a solo shot. 4th home run of the year for Bellhorn. Red Sox with 2 home runs in this one. Kevin Youkilis, his first major league hit, a home run. A solo shot in the 4th inning. Popped up. Delgado has it in his sights as he steps into foul ground and makes the catch for out number 1. It's time for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. The question is, what is the Red Sox single season team record for fewest errors in one season? The answer, 93 back in 1988. 88 Red Sox finished first in the American League East by 1 game over Detroit. Defensively, no Red Sox won a Gold Glove that year, but there were several fine performances. Marty Barrett made only 7 errors at second base in 150 games that year. Wade Boggs 11 errors at third. And Rick Cerrone played in 84 games at catcher, made no errors in the 84 games he appeared in. Ortiz hits one high and unbelievably gone. A long, majestic, towering home run at Sky Dome, the 3rd home run of the day for the Red Sox, and a 4-0 Boston lead.
Man, he has hit a couple recently that have been just absolute bombs. That one down, remember at Fenway Park?
In the double figures in terms of home runs. That's 10 for David Ortiz. Wow.
This ball absolutely crushed by Ortiz.
Ortiz with 4 hits in his career off Hentgen. 3 of them have been for home runs.
I would say that Big Papi got all of this one. Right out over the plate with the fastball, the follow through.
So 3 home runs today for the Red Sox, the most recent belonging to David Ortiz. And he's 0 for 2 as he takes the 2-0 for a strike.
Think he knows he got that?
Oh, yeah.
That's one you just got to kind of watch as you head down that first base line.
Well, Pat Hentgen had given up 5 home runs coming into this outing today, and he's given up 3 more. He's now given up the most home runs on this Toronto staff. Ramirez walks, and it's the 3rd walk given up by Pat Hentgen.
There is action out in the bullpen, too, for the Blue Jays, as Carlos Tasker watching Hentgen struggle here today with the home run ball.
And is Nakamura, Michael Nakamura, right-hander up in the pen. Well, the Red Sox have 1 less pitcher of their own in the bullpen, with Mark Malaska sent down to make room for the addition of Kevin Youkilis. Red Sox have been carrying that extra pitcher for a while, and I guess with everybody kind of nicked up right now, Jerry, and some guys some nagging injury, it probably is better to have another position player around.
Yeah, I think so. The way the guys are banged up, as you mentioned, Don. Bill Miller, you don't know when he's going to be able to come back, hopefully beginning of next week. You know, they still have the 2 lefties out in the bullpen, and Donato. Donato you can't really send down. He's a Rule 5 guy, and you might lose him if you do that.
The 100th pitch of the day for Pat Hentgen missing.
Hentgen in his day, his first trip around with the Toronto Blue Jays, I mean, he'd throw 130, 140 pitches a game. It was amazing.
Lifts it to right field. Simon Pond moving towards the line. He makes the catch for the 2nd out. Manning back to the bag at first. So the first time they've been able to retire Millar, who had singled and walked in his 2 previous appearances at the plate. He's out number 2 here in the 5th. And here's David McCarty, who's doubled and grounded out. His double in the 2nd inning drove in the game's first run. Sox with 3 home runs today, all solo shots. And now 10 for David Ortiz. Ties him with Carlos Beltran of the Kansas City Royals for second in the American League. Troy Glaus has 11 for the Anaheim Angels.
Ortiz has also moved into the top 10 in RBI. Had 28 coming into the game, 29 now. That'll tie him for third in the league behind Ivan Rodriguez and Guillen of Anaheim.
Bouncing in, Cash does a great job of knocking it down, keeping it in front of him.
Well, he's kind of fun to watch back there, isn't he?
He is.
Bounces around, a lot of hustle. Does a great job of blocking the ball. Not trying to catch this breaking ball here from Hentgen, just trying to block it. Knocks his mask off, but Ramirez has to stay at first base.
Kevin Cash got into 34 games last year, 7 the year before with Toronto. He's 26 years old and now his 3rd season with Toronto. He's yet to spend a full season in the major leagues. Ranked 15th by Baseball America. The top catching prospects in the minor leagues sitting into last year. We can see why with the work he's done here in this series and so far this season with the Toronto Blue Jays. Ramirez at first, 2 down. There goes Manny, and McCarty hits one high in the air towards right center field. Back goes Pond, and he'll make the catch in front of the warning track for the final out. David Ortiz's majestic home run at Sky Dome has the Red Sox on top 4-0.
Don't buy another SUV before you check out the Hyundai Santa Fe. Inside, tons of space and lots of standard features, all for $4,400 less than a Toyota Highlander when comparably equipped. And outside, great looks powered by an available 3.5-liter V6 with reliability backed by America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. The Hyundai Santa Fe starting at just $16,994 with utility package. With Hyundai, you win. Get a 2004 Santa Fe with $1,500 cash back or 0% APR.
For extra convenience, extra value, and extra service, stop at Extra Mart. When you're on the go, you need a little extra. Fuel up on Extra Mart's Deli Joe sandwiches, Brew Boy coffee, and more.
This month, Extra Mart is your baseball headquarters. Come in for the best in Major League collectibles and trading cards from Upper Deck, Topps, Fleer, and Donruss. Enter to win a trip for 2 to the 2004 All-Star Game in Houston.
With over 150 locations throughout New England, be smart. Shop Extra Mart.
Back here in Sky Dome, I am the negotiator. I have come up here to left field where Kevin Youkilis' first major league hit landed. I'm here with Alexandra and Alicia. They're locals here. Tell us how the home run ball landed out here.
Well, the ball came at my face, so I put up my bag, and it landed into Alicia's lap.
And Alicia, you have the ball. I've come bearing gifts. Are you familiar with Pedro Martinez at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Pedro wants that ball so badly for his new teammate. He has signed a baseball for you. And since it almost hit you in the head and signed one for you, let's make the trade. I do have the Kevin Youkilis home run ball. It'll get back into his hands. Ladies, thank you very much. And you've made Kevin a very happy person.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We've solved it. I'm the negotiator. I've gotten it done. Back to you.
How about that? Eric Fried doing the negotiation.
Not bad. And a good job, too. It didn't cost him any money, just a couple of autographed Pedro baseballs, which I'm sure are worth a lot. But
now the question is, does Eric Fried now bargain with Kevin Youkilis?
That's what we will never find out, you see. sure Kevin Youkilis will be very happy that Eric Fried did go up there and get that souvenir for him.
I understand it's already been posted on eBay under E. Fried. Swing and a miss, and Kevin Cash strikes out for the second time today against Arroyo. Third K.
Second time he struck him out, too, on the breaking ball. Really, Cash has not had much of a chance today against this breaking pitch of Bronson Arroyo. That ball's so tough to hit. It starts out, it has quite a bit of the plate, and with all that late break on it, it ends up a good 6 inches outside. Tough pitch to pick up.
Chris Gomez tripled his last time up. One of only 3 hits given up today by Bronson Arroyo. He was pitched very well, being reinserted in the Red Sox rotation. Check swing and a foul ball beyond the Red Sox dugout. 1-2 now to Gomez.
I wonder if Eric also gave her like a Nesson autograph ball with, you know, all Tom Caron, Bob Tewksbury, everybody's name on it, Don Orsillo.
I know we have them. I don't know if he travels with them. I know he's got them at home. Gomez lunging after that pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts for Arroyo. 4 strikeouts in all.
Each time the Red Sox win at Fenway Park, Hood donates $1,500 to the Hood Home Team Advantage charity program. The program benefits children's hospitals throughout New England. It's another reason you can feel good about Hood.
Two down for Orlando Hudson, who's 0 for 2 from the top spot in the Blue Jays order. Hudson grounding out to second in the first. And then a strikeout in the third inning. Orlando Hudson seems to be a real fan favorite here in Toronto. Appears on a lot of commercials in Toronto, doing some endorsements and different things here in the Toronto area. The fans have really grown to love the O-Dog, as they call him up here in Toronto. Tardy on the cut, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bronson Arroyo, striking out the side in order. We played 5, 4-0 Boston.
Amazing New England Patriots are Super Bowl champions once again.
Touchdown, David Gibbons!
We live the thrills of the Patriots' exciting championship season with Sports Illustrated and the great new NFL Films DVD, the New England Patriots Super Bowl 38 champions. Plus, this special Sports Illustrated hardbound commemorative. This individually numbered classic offers an inside look at the Patriots' second great Super Bowl season. Both are free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, giving you 56 issues for only $1.59 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price.
Touchdown, Patriots!
This Wilson Super Bowl football, designed exclusively for Sports Illustrated, is also free when you use your credit card. You can't get this one-of-a-kind collectible anywhere else. Call now. You'll get all 3 great Patriots collectibles free. Don't miss your chance to celebrate the NFL champion New England Patriots with this fantastic Super Bowl package. Available exclusively from Sports Illustrated. Call now.
Back at Skydome, where the Red Sox have a 4-0 lead. This game summary is brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. The Red Sox with 3 home runs today. Mark Bellhorn, a solo shot in the third inning. Kevin Youkilis, his first major league hit, is a home run. And a solo home run for David Ortiz in the 5th inning. 3 home runs all given up by Pat Hentgen. Bronson Arroyo has done a fine job through his 5 innings of work. Has not given up a run. He has struck out 5, including the side, in the 5th inning. And the Red Sox enjoying the 4-0 advantage as they come to bat here. In the top half of the 6th, bottom third of the Red Sox order, Mirabelli, Youkilis, and Cesar Crespo expected in the inning against the new pitcher, Michael Nakamura.
9th appearance for Nakamura on the season. He has the record of 0-1. He came over from Minnesota. Signed as a free agent back in December. Had 12 games last year with the Twins. 43 at Rochester.
Nakamura, 5'10", 170 pounds, born in Nara, Japan, but resides in Australia during the off-season.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit different. Mirabelli strikes out to begin the 6th. Nakamura striking out the first batter that he faces.
Nakamura now has 16 strikeouts in 11 2/3 innings. In the 8 games that he's worked, that big sweeping curveball will pick up a strikeout against Mirabelli.
One down for Kevin Youkilis, whose first major league hit a home run. He did offer as home plate umpire Brian Runge that last pitch. Youkilis selected by the Red Sox in the 8th round of the 2001 draft. First Sox player since Creighton Gubonic, who actually hit a grand slam in his first major league hit against the Oakland A's off Jimmy Haynes back in 1999. Youkilis, the 4th major leaguer to do it this season. First major league hit a home run. Youkilis is a native of Cincinnati, Ohio.
I think the last third baseman the Red Sox had from Cincinnati, Tim Nehring.
You're right. And of course now executive in the Cincinnati Reds organization. Off the plate that time, and a full count now to Youkilis. Had a streak in 2003. He reached base safely via hit, walk, or hit by pitch in 71 straight games. From May 19th through August 4th, the longest streak in pro baseball since Kevin Millar had done a 71-gamer. Parts of 3 seasons with Portland. This is in the air to shallow left. Catalanato lost the ball, I think, and then he backed off of it. And it falls in there for a hit for Kevin Youkilis, his 2nd hit of the day.
It's like Catalanato couldn't make his mind up whether to continue to charge that ball and have a chance of it bounce by him or just play it safe. Once again, that breaking ball toward the end of the bat, little bloop out in front of Catalanato, and he's just going to put on the brakes. I don't think he lost it, Don. I think that he was just not sure he could get to it and didn't want it to bounce by him. See that happen a lot on the artificial surfs. Uncertainty in the outfield by outfielders not wanting that ball to bounce over their head.
1 out, 1 on, and Cesar Crespo, the hitter, 0 for 2 today. Popped up into short left field. Incoming is Catalanato this time. Makes no mistake and makes the catch. 2 down.
Don't miss the 2004 Red Sox player pin collection. It all starts in the Boston Globe tomorrow with a free Red Sox pin collector's album. Start your collection and pick up the Boston Sunday Globe tomorrow.
Now with 2 outs, Youkilis at first base. Here's Johnny Damon. To center field, Vernon Wells moving in, and he makes the running catch, hung up long enough for him to run underneath it. The Red Sox are gone in the 6th. Boston on top, 4-0.
showing up in video games. Don't let the needle-pushing T5 Turbo Performance mess with your mind. It's still built like a Volvo. Introducing the all-new Volvo S40.
Remotes to play a movie. Remotes to watch TV. Remotes for sound. Remotes for cable. When will home theater have one remote that operates everything? How about now? At the one place that can explain it all, deliver it all, and install it all. Tweeter. Just sit back and enjoy.
We are back at Skydome where Bronson Arroyo is back on the mound ready to face the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's been almost a week since his last appearance. It was a relief role, and it's been 2 weeks to the day since his last start. Pitching coach Dave Wallace isn't concerned about Arroyo's arm strength, but he is concerned about his stamina.
May 1st was the last time he started in Texas, so it really isn't that long ago. He'd been doing it right along since spring training, so I'm really more worried about him coming off having the flu a little bit than you know, not pitching and not starting in 2 weeks.
His season high pitch count was back on April 19th, 99 pitches against the Yankees. He's ready to go here in the 6th. Don.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. Frank Catalanato on the ground to second base. Bellhorn throws him out. Catalanato got down the line fairly well, and there's one out in the 6th inning. Well, the pitching line is brought to you by Nissan. Bronson Arroyo 71 pitches deep. And working here now in the 6th inning. He's not given up a run, only 3 hits. Eric Kinski's got 2 of those hits off him. And 5 strikeouts and no walks. He struck out the side in order in the 5th inning. Cash, Gomez, and Hudson all down by way of the K in the 5th.
And it certainly helps when they cooperate by swinging at a first pitch. To get a quick out like that, especially get at this stage of the ball game.
Nobody warming in the Red Sox pen as Arroyo begins things here in the 6th inning. Vernon Wells lifts it to right. Millar started back, now comes in a step. And there's 2 down.
My question to Eric Fried is, did he return that baseball, or does he still have it?
He's vacated his spot at, oh no, he's down there. I can see him from here. He's just beyond the Red Sox dugout.
Do you remember last time we were here, the let's just say the fun I had with the security? We're back at it. They took the ball from me, and they need to deliver it to the Red Sox. So it's out of my possession. They have it. They promised me they're going to get it to the Sox and to Kevin after the game.
I guess they just don't like you, Eric.
There's something about the E-man that this security group does not like. He has run-ins every time we come here. Hope you got his name and his PIN number and all that stuff.
Did you tell him who he was dealing with? Two down.
I told him my new Don Orsillo, and that didn't do anything.
How'd that work for you?
Not very well. She still took it from me.
This is Stu Delgado, and it's now 1-2. You know, of all the people, you know, that we have that travel with us, the guy that I would trust maybe the most, besides you, of course, is Eric Fried. A very honest, trustworthy guy. And
it's funny because I don't trust him at all.
Really?
I think there's more to that story.
Strike 3. Delgado's gone at strikeout number 6 for Arroyo. We played 6. Red Sox on top 4-0.
Join everyone who knows when it comes to entertainment, Adelphia brings it home. Do you have a high-definition television? Adelphia is the only place to get your local channels that broadcast HD exclusives, like Major League Sports, movies, and entertainment. You can't do that with a dish. With Adelphia HD, experience watching more of your favorite shows and sports with incredible clarity and Dolby Digital sound. Adelphia HD completes your home theater without making you purchase expensive equipment. You can only get that with Adelphia.
It takes more than branches to be a real community bank. It takes roots. Since 1875, the people of Camden National Bank have been firmly rooted in the communities we serve. That means the money you deposit with us goes to work in your community through lending and financial support, and the money you borrow for your personal or business needs helps our community grow. Sure, we have branches, but it's our roots you can count on. Camden National Bank. Roots you can bank on.
On June 4th, my big brother was sentenced to 5 years in prison for a gun crime. That day, he sentenced me to 5 years of walking home alone from school.
When you commit a gun crime, your family pays the price.
100 years ago, Lewis and Clark set out to discover an all-water route to the Pacific. But what they really discovered are qualities we can still learn from today. Walk with them and see what you discover.
Bellhorn with a home run today. Show you the difference in location of fastballs. It really makes a difference to a hitter. Back in the third inning, when Bellhorn hit the home run, that ball is just above the belt. In the fifth inning, when he strikes out, that pitch is going to be just a little bit high, and there's only a difference of maybe 3 or 4 inches, but it's the difference of keeping the ball in the ballpark or getting the pop-up.
He leads it off here in the top half of the 7th inning. Michael Nakamura back out there for the Blue Jays. He had a very successful first inning in relief on for Pat Hentgen. Only giving up a hit to Kevin Youkilis last inning, and Youkilis did not advance off first base. Youkilis hitting a home run in his first major league game, his first major league hit a home run, the first for the Red Sox since Creighton Gubanic's grand slam back in '99. Prior to that, Omar Garcia Parra did it September 1st of 1996. Mentioned that Youkilis is the 4th major leaguer to do it this season. Kaz Matsui of the New York Mets did it on April 6th. Hector Luna of the St. Louis Cardinals doing it on the 8th of April, and Brian Dallimore doing it for the San Francisco Giants on April 30th. So 4th time this year, first major league hit is a home run. Bellhorn did not offer, and it's 2-2. Outfield straightaway for the Jays. And a full count now to Mark Bellhorn. Ball 4, and Bellhorn walking for the first time today. Red Sox baseball in Nesson is brought to you by your New England Jeep dealers, by Dunkin' Donuts, and by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Boston Red Sox. So Bellhorn with a leadoff walk, standing at first base. And here comes David Ortiz, who hit a long home run his last time up. Kevin Cash out to talk to Nakamura. No action in the Toronto bullpen.
I don't think I've ever seen Carlos Tosca smile.
Hasn't had a great deal to smile about.
Even in games, though, where the Blue Jays have had some success against the Red Sox, he still has that same look about him, seems like all the time.
Hit hard, but foul outside at first. And Bellhorn with a walk to begin this inning, now has 32 walks. He is second in the American League, going to Frank Thomas. The Chicago White Sox leading the American League in that category. 35 walks for Frank Thomas. Ortiz pops it up right side. Orlando Hudson equidistant between first and second. makes the catch for the inning's first out.
Little change up that time from Nakamura, had Ortiz off balance with that swing. See the grip on the changeup. And David Ortiz out on that front foot and just pops it high into the infield.
1 out, 1 on. Manny Ramirez looking for his first hit of the day. Manny walked in the 5th inning after flying out to right in the 3rd and grounding out in the 1st. This one gets away from Cash, and up to second base goes Mark Bellhorn.
Big sweeping breaking ball again, never really even close to the plate. It started out off the outside part of the plate and finished almost in the Red Sox on deck circle.
Now Bellhorn in scoring position with Ramirez up there, 1 down. Millar waiting on deck as Bellhorn gains his lead off second. And it's a fly ball to center field. Vernon Wells ducking back. Will take him shy of the track to make the catch, but deep enough for Bellhorn to tag up and advance over to third base. Now just 90 feet away from another Red Sox run.
Well, the official Red Sox magazine is filled with color photos and articles about your favorite Red Sox players from the past and present. Order your 2004 subscription and receive all 7 editions while supplies last. For details or to describe, send an email to soxpubs@redsox.com.
So 2 down, Bellhorn at third base, and Kevin Millar, the hitter, 1 for 2 with a walk.
I think Manny would like to have that last breaking ball back. That thing just hung inside, and usually that's one that he absolutely crushes. He hit it well at center field. But Nakamura got away with one there. He's been trying to keep the breaking ball away from right-handed hitters, and he just flattens one out on the inside part of the plate to Ramirez, and I think it fooled Manny a little bit that it was such a good pitch to hit. He gets that same pitch back again, he might hit it in that third deck.
Are at 400 in this situation on the season. He's batting with Bellhorn at third. And 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning. Red Sox on top 4-0. 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
A classic follow through by Nakamura, that's for sure. He throws that pitch and it's almost like he ends up back on his heels after releasing the ball at home plate.
Uh, 3-2. Millar lifts it foul down the right field line, back and out of play.
I would have to say there's a pretty good chance a Red Sox fan got that souvenir. That's all they're out on that first base line.
Three and 2 to Millar. Bellhorn at third base, 2 down here in the top of the 7th inning. Stays alive, getting just a piece. Well, Well, the Red Sox with one game left here in Toronto. Pedro Martinez tomorrow against Roy Halladay. And the Red Sox will have an off day on Monday. They're first in what will be 20 days. And then 3 games against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays from Tropicana Field Tuesday through Thursday. Well, the Red Sox will finally go home for a little while.
I think a nice 10-game homestand, I think, is coming up at Fenway.
That's Toronto. Oakland will be there, and Seattle, as Millar hits a fly ball to right field. Simon Pond's got a beat on it, and the Toronto right fielder makes the catch to end the inning. The Red Sox strand Bellhorn. 7th inning stretch from Toronto. Red Sox on top 4-0.
Yeah, looking good. Keep working. Not on the boat now. Here. You got it? You got it? Yeah. Get in. Yeah.
Bummer, it's just an 8-footer.
Hello. Throw it back.
Yeah.
A bad day in Florida beats a good day almost anywhere else. Fly Southwest Airlines from Manchester or Providence to Florida for just $79 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Quality items, great prices, and convenient locations. Extramart has all your bases covered. Stop by for a cup of our very own Brew Boy coffee or a double-sized Deli Joe sandwich. Heading for home or running on empty, Extramart introduces Extra Fuels, our own premium quality gasoline.
All this month, come into Extramart for a great selection of Hershey's milk and milkshakes, specially priced at just $1.09.
Priced right and ready to go, Extramart is always a home run.
Gumbo. Oh, yeah. Here's how y'all go. Head down by the riverside. You'll see a giant bear eating a man. You go bumpity bump. You see old dead stinking fish. Gonna be a dog there. Be foaming at the mouth. There y'all are.
Sometimes the road to adventure is paved. The 245 horsepower all-wheel drive Nissan Murano.
Forgot to warn about that hot sauce.
Back at Skydome in Toronto, Gabe Kapler takes over in right field for the Red Sox, replacing Kevin Millar. And we head now to the last half of the 7th inning. Millar flying out to right field to end the top half. This is the 7th inning, and Millar's day is done as he's replaced by Gabe Kapler in right. Bronson Arroyo back out there for the 7th inning. He has now retired 7 in a row. And works here into the last half of the 7th. Josh Phelps, Eric Hentgen, and Simon Pond expected to bat for the Blue Jays. Grounded left side over is Youkilis, who plants and throws to first in time to get Phelps. Lately, Toronto has been helping out Bronson Arroyo going after that first pitch.
Yeah, they really have. You know, their plan must be to be aggressive against him, and it's certainly helping out. He's getting some ground ball outs, quick out. His pitch count is very low. He's into the 7th inning. Youkilis ranging to his left. A nice big high bounce off the artificial surface. Plenty of time to get Phelps at first base.
78 pitches for Arroyo so far today. 56 for strikes.
Nice changeup right there, too, to Hentgen.
Hentgen has really been his one nemesis today. Hentgen has 2 of the 3 hits given up by Bronson Arroyo. And the breaking ball in there for strike 2. To right, and Kapler able to make the catch in right field. That was sinking quickly, and Kapler kept coming on, able to make the catch up off the shoe tops. There's 2 down.
Well, right away, the defensive shift pays off for the Red Sox. Millar, I don't think, has the speed and quickness to get to that ball. Kapler does. He got an excellent jump, makes the line drive off the artificial surface, and gets the second out. There's a case where Arroyo got away with one 0-2 pitch, way too good. Ball hit hard, but Kapler's there to make the play.
So the defensive switch works out great there for the Red Sox. And here's Simon Pond, 0 for 2 today.
Another changeup. I like to see that, Don. He's got confidence in that changeup today against left-handers. Now, not a lot of them been down, but he's showing them another pitch. That's a pitch he's going to have to feature quite a bit as a starting pitcher. I love the way he works. I mean, he works quickly. He's not afraid. He's not intimidated. He goes right after him. Change up again and had Pond out in his front foot. Again, he's not getting these change-ups down where I think he'd like them, but the fact is they're off-speed enough, just enough to fool the hitter.
To center field. Johnny Damon started over. Now he's got to go back, and he's able to run it down. A 9-pitch inning for Bronson. Arroyo down in order again. Go the Blue Jays for the 3rd straight inning. Red Sox on top 4-0.
Money on your mind? At Sovereign, we're here with red carpet service, guaranteed.
What does it really take to cover the news in Rhode Island?
It takes live mobile newsrooms covering stories in every community.
Live in Woonsocket.
We're live in Providence with the mobile newsroom.
It takes having the only live news helicopter in Rhode Island.
We're heading to breaking news right now. It takes a live pinpoint Doppler radar with the power to see inside storms headed for your neighborhood.
Only one Rhode Island news team has a commitment this big. See why more people are turning to Eyewitness News. It's coverage you can count on.
Do you want me? Do you really want me? I bet you think you can't afford me. Find your own style at IMG, International Motor Group, 4657 Post Road, Warwick, Rhode Island.
We are back here at Skydome. Time now for our Ford fans of the game. A lot to choose from in this section. We're going to start with Sharon. Despite the bad things you said about me, Jerry, she's taking care of Don, who said good things about me, but Red Dog is taken care of. Sharon, you are a card-carrying member of the Remy Report, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. I'm on the board. I'm Go by Scully, and the board is a lot of fun to be a part of.
Well, they've had a lot of fun in this section. They're here, too. They came up, and the exchange rate's been very good. Love the folks from Rhode Island over there on the right, too. Red Sox Nation well represented here. Our Ford fans of the game everywhere here in Toronto, guys.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. A new pitcher on for Toronto is Kerry Lightenberg, who had trouble last night.
Boy, he got lit up last night. 4 hits in that game, 5 earned runs, did not get an out against the Red Sox. I recognize that name, Scully.
Do you? That is a regular?
Yeah.
David McCarty leading it off. Doug Mirabelli and Kevin Youkilis expected to bat here in the inning. Looks like the on-deck circles here are a little bit closer than some other places. Looks like you get a real good look at the pitcher while you're waiting on deck. Mirabelli is right now kind of looking on. With a double in the second inning for his hit. Double drove in the Red Sox first run of the day. Boston now on top 4-0. 3 solo home runs for the Red Sox today, and Carty strikes out to begin the 8th. Let's check out what's on tap for the Red Sox, brought to you by Hentgen. 1 game left here with the Blue Jays. It'll be Pedro Martinez against Roy Halladay here tomorrow. Off day on Monday, then Tuesday through Thursday from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. All the games at 7 p.m. right here on Nesson. 1 out in the 8th. Doug Mirabelli's 0 for 3 today, including 2 strikeouts. It's a good trip, Don, for not only us, we enjoy both cities, but also for Red Sox fans. We always have a lot of them here in Toronto and a lot of them down in Florida.
a lot of the players, a lot of Red Sox players live in the Florida area, so always get a good Red Sox crowd down there.
To short right, and running in to make the catch in right field is Simon Pond. That one looked like it may drop in, but it does not. Mirabelli, 0 for 4 today, is out number 2 in the 8th.
Simon Pond playing fairly shallow out there in right field, and it gave him a chance to take a base hit away from Mirabelli. Howie Clark was the right fielder in game 1 of this series. They sent him down and called up Pond. And Pond has played in the last 2 games, and he's going to make another catch here to end this inning.
7-pitch inning for Kerry Lightberg. A much better result today, less than 24 hours later after last night.
The wonder of it all. Take a chance, make it happen. Pop the cork, fingers snapping. Spin the wheel, round and round we go. Life is good, life is sweet. Grab yourself a front row seat. Let's meet and have a ball. Let's live. Yeah, let's live for the wonder of it all. Meet me at Foxwoods.
Mr. Thompson, after hearing the evidence and listening to your testimony, this committee finds you guilty of obstruction of justice, embezzlement of company funds, and questionable accounting practices. Well, there appears to be some good news. Yes, sir? Well, I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. Thanks very much.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The 7-passenger, electronic 4-wheel drive, Acura MDX. Power and safety, living in perfect harmony.
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy along with Eric Freed back at Skydome in Toronto.
Season ticket holders can't make it to the ball game. Don't let your unused tickets go to waste. Post your tickets for sale through the Replay ticket program. Use Replay, the Red Sox new ticket resale program. It's safe, it's legal, and it's convenient. Visit redsox.com and click on the Replay button.
Last half of the 8th inning in Bronson. Arroyo back out on the mound. He's thrown 87 pitches, 63 4 strikes. And he's dealing with the Toronto catcher to get things started here in the last half of the 8th. Kevin Cash has struck out twice today in 2 plate appearances against Bronson Arroyo. To Crespo at shortstop. On to first for out number 1, and Arroyo has retired 11 in a row.
Take a look at the 4 of Arroyo's strikeouts here against Orlando Hudson. Looks like a cut fastball down and in. There's that sweeping breaking ball to Kevin Cash. Gomez, he gets on the breaking ball, and a fastball by Orlando Hudson again. Hudson striking out twice today. I'll tell you, this is about as easy as a pitcher has made a game look this season. This is unbelievable.
Chris Gomez, number 9 hitter. 1 for 2 today, a triple in the 3rd inning.
Tell you what, Don, too, this is what I believe that Terry Francona wanted all along, for Arroyo to be the number 5 starter.
Well, it appeared Red Sox Nation was clamoring for that after the success he had last year when he first came up, and the early outings he had in the Red Sox rotation this season, and certainly couple that with the inability of Byung-Hyun Kimberly to have any kind of success. Action in the pen, Timlin and Embry. Two balls, 2 strikes to Gomez. Orlando Hudson waiting on deck. Arroyo's retired 11 Blue Jays in a row. To Bellhorn on 1 hop at second. 2 down. pitches now for Bronson Arroyo. And the first 2 outs here in the last half of the 8th. Back up top for Orlando Hudson. Hudson and Catalinato, boy, they started off the series very hot, 8 for 9, but since then have struggled. Catalinato waiting on deck. He's 0 for 3 today.
It's interesting too, Don. As quickly as Arroyo works, you a lot of times get better defense play behind you when you work quick. Now, you did have that drop of a pop-up by Crespo, but other than that, the Red Sox have been pretty sharp today defensively. You're on your toes, pitches quickly, you're ready to go, you're focused, you're in the game.
Imagine from a defensive standpoint, behind a pitcher who does not throw quickly.
Put you to sleep out there. You lose concentration.
Strike. Hudson thought he might have had ball 4, and it's a full count now. This is pitch number 100 for Bronson Arroyo. 2 outs in the 8th inning. On the hands, popped up third base way. Youkilis stepping into foul ground. And a 1-2-3 inning for Arroyo. What an outing for Bronson Arroyo today. Tiring 13 in a row. Red Sox on top 4-0.
Civilization to find adventure. The 245 horsepower all-wheel drive Nissan Murano.
Know the score before the game with Nesson's new 1-hour pregame show. Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe pregame report. 1 hour before game time on Nesson.
Starting at $70, you'll find our shoes fit your budget almost as well as your feet.
Styles from dress to casual. Sizes from 8.5 to 14. Men's Warehouse.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, by your New England Ford dealers, by Pepsi, by your Lincoln Mercury dealers, by Foxwoods Resort and Casino, and by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. What an outing today from Bronson Arroyo. 100 pitches deep into his outing, retiring the last 13 Toronto Blue Jays that he has faced today, and it seemed effortless today in those 100 pitches that he threw.
That's about as easy 100 pitches as you're going to see a pitcher make. It was a tremendous performance by Arroyo.
No pitcher for the Jays in Valerio De Los Santos.
That's what managers talk a lot about all the time, is look at the numbers for De Los Santos. He also worked in the game last night. An inning, had a couple of strikeouts. But how difficult are those pitches that you have to make?
Down to third. Hentgen picks himself up and throws out Crespo. 1 down. Let's check in with Eric Freed. Eric.
Well, Don, Keith Folk is getting ready in the Red Sox bullpen. He has done a great job as a Sox closer so far, but perhaps he missed his true calling. Yesterday, he took a tour of the Hockey Hall of Fame here in Toronto, really the shrine to hockey, a terrific facility. Keith is a hockey fan, and he's coming on strong with his love for hockey, and some of his skills were on display, shooting and saving some of the interactive displays there at the Hockey Hall of Fame. You'll see more of Keith's tour of the Hockey Hall coming up tomorrow morning on the Boston Globe pregame show about noontime tomorrow, right here on NESN, guys.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. We look forward to that. Eric's been spending a lot of time in Hall of Fames lately with Bronson, Arroyo, and Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and now Keith Folk. Look forward to that tomorrow in the pregame. Damon grounds it to Orlando Hudson at second base. And there's 2 down in the top half of the ninth.
Well, congratulations to Tim Wakefield and his wife Stacy. They just became proud parents of a baby boy at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. So congratulations to the Wakefields on their first child.
That's great. So we'll be throwing knuckleballs in the backyard. Mark Bellhorn with a home run back in the 3rd inning, his 4th round tripper of the year. One of 3 home runs today for the Red Sox.
I'd like to thank Jack McCormick for that information. He just ran it up to us. I guess the call just came in from Tim, and we're happy to get that out on the air, and good luck to him. Everybody doing fine.
Red Sox have passed along more information on Kevin Youkilis' feed here today. The last Red Sox player in his first major league game to hit a home run. You got to go back to our own Sam Horn. July 25th of 1987 versus Seattle off Stan Clark.
Don, I've got a dilemma. I mean, I like to give top dog to a guy that gets his home run in his first at bat, you know, and
What's the problem?
Well, you got Bronson Arroyo.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
There is a problem, yeah. Well, then you still have that deputy dog thing you hand out.
Yeah, maybe I'll give Arroyo the top dog and then some kind of special something for the home run.
Honorable mention. 2-2.
Give him a 2 barks. It's hard to top that performance today, though. That has to be a top dog performance.
The off pitch to Bellhorn. He will take the walk for the 2nd time today.
Stay tuned after the game for New England's Red Sox post-game shows. First is W.B. Mason's Extra Innings, then Granite City Electric Extra Innings Extra. After the last inning, the action's just beginning.
David Ortiz getting a chance here in the 9th. His home run in the 5th inning. A solo shot put the Red Sox on top 4-0. The score the same as Ortiz stands in here in the 9th with 2 down. And Bellhorn at first base. Fouled off the left side. And it's 1-1 now to Ortiz.
That ball ended up in the top deck, which is a tough thing to do, even in foul territory here at Sky Dome.
You are well back of the action if you're sitting in the upper deck here at Sky Dome. Set back. Ortiz jolts one to center field. Vernon Wells heading back at the track, front of the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. Vernon Wells, with no more room in which to work with out there in dead center field, reels it in. And Bellhorn is left at first. We're headed for the bottom of the 9th, 4-0 Boston.
Nobody does it like Southwest Airlines. We always have low fares, even at the last minute.
You are now free to move about the country.
Sovereign, we're here with red carpet service. Guaranteed.
Where can a Mercury Mountaineer take you? The sky's the limit. Announcing the Lincoln Mercury SUV Drive-Away. Get Mercury Mountaineer for a limited time with no charge power moonroof, no charge leather seating, and room for up to 7. Now drive Mercury Mountaineer for $279 a month with $2,078 cash due at signing. The SUV Drive-Away. Only at your New England Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Back in Toronto, heading to the last half of the 9th inning. 4-0 Red Sox on top. Bronson Arroyo done after 8 innings of shutout pitching, retiring the last 13 that he faced, and threw 100 pitches here today. An outstanding effort. Arroyo striking out 6, walking no one. And the defensive changes for the Red Sox, there are quite a few. Crespo has moved from shortstop to left field. Red Sox Avenue shortstop, and Pokey Reese taking over for Crespo at short. And coming from left field into first base is David McCarty. And with Arroyo going the first 8, the Red Sox will turn things over here to the closer, Keith Foulke.
Again, a non-save situation for Foulke. He was in the game last night. Pitched an inning, did have a strikeout. Overall, his 18th appearance of the season.
To lead it off, then Wells and Delgado. Certainly the tough part of this Toronto order in the 9th, but a 4-run lead for the Red Sox. Molinaro 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out twice and has lined out to the shortstop. Only hits that Arroyo gave up over the 8 innings, 2 to Eric Hentgen and 1 to the number 9 hitter Chris Gomez. Otherwise blanking the rest of the Toronto order. One and 2 still to Frank Catalanato. 36,841 on hand here today for Game 3 of the 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. The largest crowd of the series.
One of the bigger crowds we've seen here in quite some time, Doug.
1-2, line to left field, and a nice running catch from Cesar Crespo.
Once again, good solid contact from Catalanato, but Crespo playing shallow makes the play on the line drive. Crespo's been all over the place. Second base, shortstop, outfield. He's the backup catcher too if they needed one. Number 3 catcher.
He's been a great asset to the Red Sox this season. This one is grounded in the center field, a base hit. Vernon Wells on with 1 out, just the 4th Toronto hit of the day. Game summary is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Blue Jays really not putting up much up against Bronson Arroyo. No runs over an 8-inning effort from Arroyo. And the first 5 had not had a hit until Vernon Wells single here in the 9th. Linsky with the 2 hits off Arroyo, and Gomez with 1 of his own, a triple. The number 9 spot in the 3rd inning. Carlos Delgado. Struck out looking his last time up. Vernon Wells with a single here in the bottom of the 9th inning breaks up a string of 14 in a row. Retired by Red Sox pitching, 13 of the 14 by Arroyo. And Foulke getting the first out of this inning. There goes a runner at first, and this one carved foul. Vernon gets the bad news and has to head back to first. Pedro Martinez going tomorrow for the Red Sox, 4-2 with a 3.73 earned run average. Against Roy Halladay, 3-4 with a 3.99 ERA. Halladay will be looking to get back to the 500 mark. He's 3-4 on the season. A frustrating start for him. Delgado's frustrated as he strikes out. 2 down in the 9th.
Great changeup from Folk after a fastball up and in. He goes back down and away with the changeup to pick up the strikeout. Second time today that Delgado was struck out.
Two-away, and Wells at first. Josh Phelps standing in an 0-for-3 effort so far today for the Blue Jays designated hitter. The last winning starter for the Red Sox was Curt Schilling a week ago today. The Red Sox can hold on here for Bronson Arroyo. The first starter since Schilling a week ago to win. It was a complete game effort that time for Schilling. Look ahead, 0-2 of Josh Phelps. 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. He struck him out. And the Red Sox have taken game 3 of this 4-game series. An impressive outing today for Bronson Arroyo, who picks up his 2nd win and the first major league hit for Kevin Youkilis in his first major league game is a home run. And the Red Sox shut out the Toronto Blue Jays 4-0 in 2 hours and 24 minutes. We'll step aside, come back to Sky Dome with more after this.
Showing up in video games, don't let the needle-pushing T5 Turbo performance mess with your mind.
It's still built like a Volvo.
Introducing the all-new Volvo S40.
Hi, it's Jan. Yeah, about the school play.
Well, what do we got?
Big spike in calls today.
Where to?
Half a dozen states plus a bunch of local numbers.
That's a lot of calls for one family. There's got to be a connection.
I got it. Looks like they just signed up for Comcast Connections any distance.
Get unlimited local calling, tons of long distance, and popular features like caller ID for just $48.95 a month.
Cookies?
So why pay more? Sign up and get your first month free.
Back in Toronto, the Red Sox winners 4-0 today. Take a series lead of 2-1 in this 4-game series. The play of the game is brought to you by Foxwoods Resort and Casino. And in his 2nd major league at bat, Kevin Youkilis will get a changeup from Pat Hentgen and right down that left field line for his first major league hit, his first major league home run.
So the Red Sox, on the strength of 3 solo home runs, win this one, a final of 4-0. Arroyo the winner, Hentgen the loser. 36,841 watched it. The Red Sox now 22-15 with the win. Jerry Remy, Don Orsillo saying so long from Sky Dome. It's time now for WB Mason's Extra Innings with Tom Caron. Tom?
All right, Don, thanks very much. Along with Bob Tewksbury, got a nice one to look back at today.
Oh, a lot of wonderful things happened in this ball game, and you saw that clip. Youkilis got the hanging changeup, and Mama, I made you proud. There goes the baseball. What a great day for Kevin.
Got the silent treatment. We think he's going to get the ball back. We'll have to check it with Eric Fried later on.
Yeah, Eric's hiding it.
Get the latest on that. He's blaming security. I think he's already got it on eBay, but we'll have to wait and see. We're going to take a break and come back. If you feel good about this one, feel good for Bronson Arroyo, feel good for Kevin Youkilis, and feel good that the Red Sox won it 4-0. WB Mason's Extra Innings is next.
What's the matter, baby? My girlfriend, Aisha, She left me. Oh, that skinny. Oh, she took my appetite.
Kids.